Welcome back to the final part of this video and
Part Trace, right?
3.
And we're kicking it off with the number 3, aren't we?
Dead fucking Rising 3. Now, the reason I'm excited for this game is because the only reason I went to the 360 when it came out was Dead Rising. Loved the game, loved Frank West. Favorite zombie killer ever. Chuck Green and Nick Ramos, the new hero, are cool, but they can suck a fat nut when it comes to Frank West. But, so the second one, love Case Zero, Case West, and especially Off the Record. And now 3's coming out with smart glass, awesome graphics.
And the Kinect.
The Kinect. You can't even talk with the zombies hearing you in the game, in real life.
Yeah,
I mean,
which is a real downfall for me, because I'm the loud player. I like running around yelling and stuff.
And what I love is everyone was upset because at E3 they did it. I loved the video, but they did a terrible job at making it look like Dead Rising because it looked like horror survival. But everything that they've been showing, the pics and stuff, it's been doing the new entry in the series much more.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
I'm actually getting really interested in this. And it took you forever to con me into Dead Rising.
Oh yeah, I couldn't get him until he found out he can beat up zombies with a dildo.
Yeah. In Proto Man boots.
Or an anal probe, in your case.
Yeah.
Fucking Uranus, so. Now, if you can never play Dead Rising, I seriously recommend it.
I
wouldn't start with the first one, because it's a bit more of,
It's a little edgy. Like, I personally tried the first one right off the bat, because I was like, oh, number 1, of course you want to play the first one off first.
It's weird, but...
It's gonna push fans away. I suggest playing
Off the Record.
Off the Record first.
Because Off the Record, it's more of just Frank West's story.
Which is the first guy, so...
It doesn't really talk about the story at all. I mean, there won't be that many spoilers. I mean, Off the Record, for those of you who don't know, it's just Dead Rising 2, but with Frank West returning rather than Chuck Green. In fact, Chuck Green is actually a psychopath in the game.
Yeah,
and psychopaths, if you are new to the franchise.
Speaking of which, we will show our family picture of that. Yeah.
We must do that, actually.
Actually, yeah.
So, basically, psychopaths are boss battles in between Dead Rising, and they're psychopaths. That's really what there is. There's Adam the Clown.
Batshit crazy, man.
Randy the bunny gimp with a Johnny chainsaw.
Oh, God, Randy.
And so,
Fucker rapes a girl.
Alright. If you don't save her...
If you don't save her. Well, it's just like the one in the first one with those prisoners.
He ruined that. I always left her for dead. And then he goes, you know they'd probably rape her. And so now I have to save her every time. Like, not save her, just make sure they don't get her.
Yeah.
So, anyway, smart glass.
Oh, yeah.
The connections they're having, and I wish they would talk about it more and actually show how it works, because I want to know, because it just looks amazing. Calling down airstrikes, gun strikes, GPS maps to go to stores, and it looks amazing. It's a really creative idea, being able to use your phone in real life in the actual game.
Yeah, that is very exciting.
Yes, and now...
I want to hit the topic of the Kinect.
Yes.
How you can attract zombies. They quoted on this site that we're on, the microphone, its sensitivity will tune to a quote unquote threshold that makes sense. So therefore, that will attract zombies when you're loud, of course. You know, you can talk to your friends and so, but I think it's you hit a certain height and then it starts attracting them.
Now, one thing I want to say before I start getting into combo weapons and what are now being called blueprints, not combo cards, is the zombie types. Alright, I'll be ranting by myself then. Now, there are all new zombie types. Firefighter zombies that are amazingly tough to take down, use fire axes. Police zombies that'll shoot at you. Not like a normal person, they're just like blind firing. So it's not like they're gunning you down. But prisoner zombies that are huge, football player zombies that'll literally just chase you down and tackle you to the ground, throwing everything out of their way. they're just getting so creative with it, and I'm glad they got rid of the gassers. From what I've seen, the gassers were a pain in the ass. And if you're new to the series, they puked on you, ate you, swarmed you. They were a bitch.
Now, I just want to throw this out here real quick. For those who are gonna, say, "Oh, this is just like Left 4 Dead," no.
Yeah. While the series do give each other credit
They
constantly,
really do. Oh, they are just right at
so
each
many
other.
Easter eggs. Like in Case West, which is a downloadable game, you can find this room that says "Don't start with a witch," and you can hear the witch crying from Left 4 Dead. And
in what was it? The Sacrifice.
The passing.
The Passing.
In the passing, there's a quote on Frank West, like, if you play the Left 4 Dead series, you'll know there's always writing on the wall pretty much everywhere you go. And one of them, it's a message to Frank West to Otis, saying he doesn't think he's gonna make it because there's no helicopter and the zombies are way faster.
There is also an achievement. Now, the first ever place you go to when the first zombie outbreak happens, and you're playing as Frank West in the first one,
is Wilmette, Colorado. Blech.
A totally
It's a
fictional
small
town,
and the population is like 53,594.
That's a little bit bigger than a small town, but
Basically, the only attraction they have is the mall, which is where you play as in the first Dead Rising. And Left 4 Dead, the first one, actually had an achievement for killing that many zombies, which really shows the love both of the series has for each other. Speaking of which, we'll talk about this on conspiracy episode. Left 4 Dead 3.
Oh, that is a testy subject right now.
It's all but confirmed. Now, back to Dead Rising 3. Like I said, if you look at the E3 demo, it looks good, but the silliness lacked. And the pictures they've shown, look them up. They've brought back the laser sword. They've brought back all kinds of ridiculous. You can dress up. You can be a cross-dresser. And
I am personally excited for the Pummel Blast. Now, if you don't know what this is yet, think a sledgehammer with grenades tied onto it.
basically, the hero of Dead Rising 2, Chuck Green, and apparently Dead Rising 3, Nick Ramos, have exclusive access to duct tape, in which they tape two random weapons together, and they turn into...
I personally think iJack is actually a duct tape company, and they just give him free duct tape for life.
Interesting fact, then we'll get back on topic. iJack is the original creator of Dead Rising Kiji, and I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
It's
We've been
his
butchering
name.
things
It's his
all
name
night,
backwards.
so... That's just kind of like, Noob Saibot, or whatever, man.
Noob Saibot.
Thank you. In
It's
Mortal
Tobias
Kombat.
Boone,
Yeah.
Okay, so, now, here's the part where we get to conspiracy theories. Now, every information we have has been leaked through Silicinera, again, fucking up names, and all of them have sounded like they're true. Now, from what they've been saying, Nick is trying to rebuild a plane, and, he runs into this group called the Illegals. The Illegals are a group who refuse to get chipped. Basically, if you get bitten, you're not screwed. You can take a drug called Zombrex, and if you take it every 24 hours, you'll never turn. But the government wanted these infected people chipped, but the Illegals are a group of people that are not chipped and refuse to be. Now,
Speaking of which, I want to talk about something on that.
Mhm.
In number 2, as you brought up earlier,
Case
Katie.
Zero.
Yeah, Katie.
Chuck Green's daughter.
Katie Green,
Yeah.
At this time, you brought up the fact she'd be 18 because this is 10 years...
This is 10 years after Dead Rising 2, which I'm kind of upset about because that means Frank West is 51, but...
Yeah. Man's getting old. But, you also brought up the fact, what if Katie is an illegal?
Because at the end of Case Zero, the government is swarming, picking up survivors, taking them to a safe place. But Chuck Green runs away with Katie. Now, they weren't executing the infected, so my theory is Chuck didn't want her chipped. Why? I don't know. They haven't mentioned it at all, but from everything I've seen, he's been trying to keep it discreet that she's infected. So my theory is, because there has also been a report that he will be in Dead Rising 3.
Which would be pretty cool to see, to be honest.
Yeah.
If we don't see Frank West, at least we could see one of them,
Or a reference to him.
Yeah, even that.
Now, So I have a feeling that Katie is also going to make an appearance because if she's 18, she can follow in Dad's footsteps and become a zombie killing hero.
Yeah.
Now,
Preferably sexy, Capcom. Preferably, we will love sexy here.
see, every time I look at her, I'm just going to see the kid, so it's not going to work for me.
No, you're right. But the sexy part still doesn't hurt.
Alright. Now, probably should wrap this up. So basically, the gameplay elements look amazing. The car mechanics where the zombies will jump on and try to pull you out. The kill count, the being able to store every weapon you pick up and just going to a weapons locker and grabbing it.
I like the fact that you're going faster than 5 miles an hour now.
That is true. And clothing lockers where every clothing you put on is in a locker. And I am just so excited for this game.
I personally, out of sight and, hearing about this in the rumors, I honestly want to give this a pre-rating, and we can start doing pre-ratings on anything we talk about.
Right.
So if you guys have any, things you guys want us to talk about, look up, let us know, leave it in a comment, send it in a message. We'll get to you. We promise to message everyone back. But Dead Rising, I have to give it, so far, a 9 out of 10. I don't want to give it a perfect 10 until I hear something about Frank West.
See, you had to bring that up because I was about to go 10, and then you had to say that. Now, this game is supposed to be bigger than the first two combined, and then have more space. So, tons of new stuff to do, tons of new blueprints or combo cards, whatever you want to call it. So pumped, and I just want to slice some zombies in half, and unless they just butcher the story, which I don't see them doing, I'm giving it a 10 right now. And although I think Chuck should be the one to kill the Phonotrans director, which, again, if you're not a fan of the series, look it up, because we're trying to...
She is also batshit crazy.
She's a batshit crazy bitch. She, basically, the Zombrex, the thing I talked about earlier, she got bit, but she doesn't take it anymore. She created a cure, but didn't want to lose money, so she didn't give it out to the public, so they keep buying Zombrex. She's a psycho bitch.
Yep.
Alright, now, this will wrap it up. If you have any other questions, let us know, and we'll try to respond.
All trailers and all games, we will leave links below. So, we'll be showing pictures of, things throughout. We'll make slideshows to put all together.
Yes.
But till then, stay gold, guys. This is Blur.
This is False Prophet. The last thing I gotta say, you wanna know how badass Frank West is? He took on a giant fucking robot in the middle of the apocalypse and lived.
Yeah.
Frank West.
But once again, this is Blur. Stay gold. And this
is False Prophet. Don't have an outro.
Okay. Yeah. Not yet.
Alright.
But we will keep making videos, guys.